People of Rockport have a new place to spend their free time with the opening of the city's newest country club. The country club, first established back in the 1950s until Harvey flooded the building with nearly 5 feet of water. Officials with the golf club say the storm leveled the clubhouse and destroyed the club's golf house. The club was able to be rebuilt back in February, and today officials and members stood together to celebrate the recovery of the club's golf course after being closed for a year.
Oh gosh, we're tickled to death. It's been a blessing that everybody has pitched in. They've worked hard to get back where we're at today, and it's been a blessing that we have gotten as far as we have.
The country club serves members in Aransas Pass, Ingleside, and Rockport. There will be a golf tournament this Saturday to mark the one-year anniversary of Hurricane Harvey and celebrate the club's reopening.